Hey, what's going on guys? Oscarmini here. And today's video comparison is going to be a very short one where I compare the TECNO Spark 5 against the TECNO Pouvoir 4. The only reason I want to make this video is because I've had a couple questions on this channel asking which of these devices is better, like which of them is better to buy. And the answer will be glaring after I've laid out some certain things for you guys to see. So without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Okay, I've had these devices for 3 months now. I bought them on the same day sometime in May, yeah? And after the reviews and occasional grabbing them from the drawer and checking them out, the glaring fact here is that these devices are similar in a lot of ways, yet they have the target audiences. I'm not gonna run through the whole accessories and tell you all the stuff that comes within the box from each of these devices. If you want to check those kind of things out, I'll have links to the reviews of this smartphones in the description box below. First off, let's take a look at the build quality of both devices. The TECNO Spark 5 here and the TECNO Pouvoir 4 here are actually made out of the same plastic material, or so it feels. The rear of both of these devices are practically the same in design. I mean, the Pouvoir 4 feels like a little stretched out version of the Spark 5. You get a quad camera setup at both of the rears of the smartphones with fingerprint sensors and the various branding. Where things begin to change a little is when you flip to the front and see the giant 7-inch display on the Pouvoir 4 with the stereo speaker setup and dewdrop notch, while the Spark 5 has a 6.6 LCD panel. Obviously not as big as the Pouvoir. You have a mono downfiring speaker and the cutout notch to the top left corner of the display. The only physical difference between these two smartphones, apart from the screen size here, would be the addition of the dedicated Google Assistant button here, or key, on the Pouvoir 4. I actually wish this button was remappable, or maybe I haven't found a way to go about that on the smartphone. So in terms of builds, they both are large, non-one-handed devices, and these are just the differences I can think of right now. Nothing else sticks out here. So let's talk about the major differences for the smartphones, being the display and battery. Okay, one at a time. Let's talk about the display first off. You get the same full HD resolution, only that the Pouvoir 4 has a 7-inch LCD panel as opposed to the 6.6-inch panel you get from the Spark 5. There's nothing actually different from the smartphones when you consume media on both. I think this will be a matter of preference. For me, a 6.6-inch display is actually big enough, and I wouldn't want to get a larger device with a 7-inch panel. Obviously, there are people who would disagree with that, but basically, you do not get to miss out on anything in terms of the quality except for the slightly larger screen on the Pouvoir 4 and the location of the notches on the smartphones. That aside, the only major difference here is the battery. No doubt here, the Pouvoir 4 is the battery king and has a 6000 mAh battery when compared to the Spark 5's 5000 mAh. Now, with that extra 1000 mAh, you get an extra about 2 hours more screen on time, as found in my battery drain tests of the smartphones, and that's actually a lot. If you want to see where I drain the batteries on these devices, I'd have it linked in the description below. Hence, the aspects where the Pouvoir 4 leads the Spark 5 would be in the battery department, bigger screen, stereo speakers, and a little more RAM. Okay, now that I remember the RAM, you get a 3GB RAM on this big boy and 2GB on the Spark 5. It just means the Pouvoir 4 can hold a little more apps in the background. But in terms of speed, these devices would perform almost exactly the same since they run the same Helio A22 processor. I have tested them so far and I can't really tell the difference in terms of speed on these devices. Now, in terms of the cameras, I actually don't have a lot to say about these cameras as they have the same sensors, 30 megapixels for the main lens and an array of 2 megapixels for depth sensors, macros, while the front cameras here are 8 megapixels. If the difference in picture or video quality is what you want me to talk about here, there is none as far as I can tell. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but you guys could go check out the reviews and see the photos coming off these devices. Also links in the description here. They're just basically the same thing here. Okay, if I didn't mention the prices earlier, the Pouvoir 4 here retails for 55,000 naira, about $140, while you'd get the Spark 5 for $120, 50,000 naira. Now the question remains, should I get the Pouvoir 4 over the Spark 5? Well, if you want that extra 2 hours of screen on time, and all thanks to the larger battery on the Pouvoir 4, and you don't mind having a large device, I mean, if that's your thing, then the extra 5,000 naira is definitely worth the ad. And you're going to get stereo speakers, an extra gigabyte in RAM, all thrown in here. But if you're like me and feel that the Spark 5 is already a large enough device, and one-handed use is a thing of concern for you, then you can actually get this device. I can assure you that you'll be fine getting the Spark 5 and not really miss out on a lot of things here. They are actually the same in a lot of ways, more than you can think. So that's been it for this video. I thought I was going to make this one short and it's already 5 minutes there. Okay, do not forget to like, share, and also subscribe to this channel if you found this helpful. Other than that, it's goodbye, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Cuídate.